Alright, so today I went to the DMV. Yay! Oh, you know, lots of good stuff happens at the DMV. Folks get to get their license for the first time as young kids. When you get to where you need just an ID, you can go up there and get an ID. You know, and you have to go up there to register your vehicle. Yay! So here's the deal. I had to register and title the Rambler over to me, but the DMV is going through some changes. Okay, last couple of years they've realized that they're not exactly the most efficient program, so they've tried to fix things, and they've done a much better job. The way it works now is you walk in, there's a fella or a woman sitting at a table there when you first walk in, and they say, you know, how can I help you, and you tell them what you got, and pretty much they set you on the right path. If you don't have the right forms, it kind of alleviates the time wasted at the windows, where people used to go and sit there at the window and say, oh, I got this thing, and they'd say, well, where's your form? I ain't got that. So this kind of alleviates that. They've got a little more streamlined. This fella or woman at the door is supposed to sit there and tell you, okay, well, you need to fill out this form, or you need to go home and get this form, or whatever. Okay, that's supposed to work fine. The problem that I encountered was the dude working at the little desk when I walked in, back when I tried to register the Rambler the first time, told me, after I had shown him all my paperwork and showed him where I paid my taxes and that I had insurance, told me to go home and wait for my new title to show up before I could register the vehicle. And I told him, I said, you do understand that I bought this car and I need to title it and register it. He said, yeah, it'll take 6 to 8 weeks. Just go home and wait for it. We'll mail it to you. Okay. That's the problem, okay? I went home and I waited 6 to 8 weeks. 8 weeks to be exact. Because I thought, well, let me hold out because I still ain't seen no title show up in the mail. So after the 8th week, I decided, self, because that's what I call myself. I said, self, something's wrong here. You need to call somebody. So I picked up the telephone and I called the tax office because the DMV fella had told me that there was a tax office that was supposed to mail me this thing. So I called the tax office and I say, this is what's going on. She's like, well, that's incorrect. The DMV issues you that stuff. And as a matter of fact, once you're 45 days out, there's a late fee and there's penalties. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? There's no late fee. I got my lip all poked out like this. I try to make it stick out extra more for sympathy. And she says, I tell you what, you come up here to the tax office and we'll talk. Which made my poking out lip not work because I'm on the phone. So I had to drive up to the tax office, which is fun in itself because it's at the courthouse, and you got to go through security and empty your pockets and then stand in line and listen to everybody else while they're in line waiting for their tax purposes. And I get up there and then I get to poke up my lip in person, and they feel sorry for me and they say, oh, Mr. Peak, we'll help you. What do you need done? And I tell them and they're like, oh, well, that explains it, the DMV. Now, they understand that the DMV has some growing pains and that there's some complications in the process, and sometimes you don't get someone who's on their best game that day and they give you some incorrect information, and they said, we'll help you. So they gave me the forms to fill out and they refunded me money and then recharged me money, and I didn't actually have to transfer any money over. Everything just kind of moved along, and they gave me a new little tax form and said, all right, now take this to the DMV and don't leave there unless they give you a title or registration. They should give you both, but that's where you need to get it done. Tell them exactly what you told us. I said, okay, thank you. So I went to the DMV. This time there's an older lady there when I walk in, and she is on her game, buddy. She's got a line of, must have been 15 people there, and in no time at all, she was just cycling through them, sending one this way and one that way, and giving them numbers and telling them to wait for their number, and you need to get this form, and you're perfect, just to go over here. And I get up there, and right away, man, she's like, well, that's just dumb. She said, do you remember who helped you? I said, no, it was 2 months ago. She said, it wasn't that fellow with the dreadlocks, was it? I said, you know, as a matter of fact, I think it was a fellow with the dreadlocks, because every time I retell a story, I tell about a story with a fellow with dreadlocks. So, apparently Mr. Fellow with the dreadlocks had a lot more going on than just working at the DMV, and they had to let him go. So, she gave me the right form to fill out, and she sympathized with me and said I could poke in my lip just a little bit less because I was like this, but so she says, all right, we'll take care of you. You just go over there and we'll call your number. Thank you. And a lady calls me up, and I get up there and hand her my paperwork. Somewhere during this process now, my proof of insurance has become missing. Now I know I had it in my hand when I walked in the door. And we look around, and she says, maybe you left it in your car. I said, I don't think so, but I'll go look. So I go out and look in the car. It's not there. I go back in. They're like, well, we need that. It's got your information. And I said, okay, what now? The very busy lady at the front desk had it. So I got my little form, I gave it to her, and now my car is registered. She said, now you know there's a late fee. I said, but, and she said, don't worry about it, we'll take care of it. See, and that was the right thing to do. That was the right thing to do on their part, because they knew that they had screwed up somebody there, and it was their fault. You know, the old DMV would have been like, you just got to pay that. Because the old DMV had no soul. The old DMV was just vacant of feeling. They were just like, so what? You suck. So I will give them this. The new DMV is a little more streamlined. They got a little person there to help you at the front door. Sometimes they give you the right information. Chances are, if you walk in the door and there's a young fella or an older woman, you probably need to stand in the line with the older woman, because she knows what she's doing, and the younger fella's thinking about other stuff. So that's my 2 cents worth. You know, but they did the right thing for the right reason. I got my stuff. I got my license. I mean, I got my tag and my registration, and my title will be mailed to me. She promised me. She said, I promise you, we'll mail it. If you want it right now, you can pay more. It's $30. No, you can mail it. As long as I got my registration, I know I can get in the Rambler, and I can crank her up, and I can drive her to the gas station and get me gas anytime I want. We're good. So there you go. That's my 2 cents worth. See? I turned this into this. Isn't that great? Y'all have a wonderful day.